Kate Hudson addresses her critically panned rom-coms that are now considered classics. People don't realize how hard it is. Kate Hudson has defended the romantic comedies she has made throughout her career that have been panned by critics. After receiving immense critical acclaim for starring in the 2000 film Almost Famous, Hudson chose to star in various romantic comedies in the early 2000s. Other than Almost Famous, Kate Hudson's best movies include How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Bride Wars, and Something Borrowed. However, even though these romantic comedy movies are now beloved by fans, they did not receive many positive reviews at all when they were released. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Hudson addresses her romantic comedy movies that received negative reviews from critics. Hudson points out that movie critics are looking for different things than general audiences. Therefore, she thinks it's important to realize that most people love her rom-coms. She also stressed that most people don't realize how hard it is to get movies made in Hollywood. Read Hudson's full comments below. I think the critic has changed. I think in the movie world, critics who are looking at things with a certain microscope might sometimes not be looking at it as what people need. The critic has changed, meaning the whole world is a critic now. When you're making a movie to feel a certain way, I call it a spectrum. Who are you making them for? Are you making it for the critic? Are you making it for the people? You try to make the best movie possible, telling the story that you're trying to tell. If you're trying to think about it as who you're trying to please, you're probably going to miss. If I was set out to make Bride Wars or Something Borrowed to be some critically acclaimed, Oscar campaign-worthy film, it would be a very different movie. I also think people don't realize how hard it is to get a movie like that made and enjoyed. What Hudson's comments mean for her romantic comedy movies. It is a fact that most of Hudson's rom-coms have not received positive reviews. The aforementioned How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Bride Wars, and Something Borrowed, for example, have scores of 42%, 10%, and 15% on Rotten Tomatoes, respectively. However, these three films have grown to be loved by viewers all over the world. In fact, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and Bride Wars are seen as rom-com classics now. This proves that audiences' attitudes toward rom-coms can largely differ from critics. There was a time when the romantic comedy genre was one of the most popular genres in Hollywood. In the early 2000s, when Hudson was first emerging as an actress, romantic comedies were constantly being made. However, this has changed in the last decade. Ever since the superhero genre and popular IP films have started dominating the box office, fewer rom-coms have been made. Nowadays, instead of criticizing rom-com movies, audiences are asking for more of them. Our take on Hudson's comments about her romantic comedy movies. I think Hudson is right in saying that the movie critic has drastically changed, and this is due to the emergence of social media. While traditional movie critics once dictated what movies were good, anyone from anywhere in the world can now voice their opinion on movies through social media. This is why it is clear that a lot of people love Hudson's classic romantic comedy movies. Therefore, even though they don't all have very good reviews, it is undeniable that Hudson's romantic comedy films are adored by many people.